Hi, welcome to the Game Changers. So last week we spoke about how we can find multi-bagger stocks and what is the highest probability that I know with which we can find multi-bagger stocks, right? In relation to that video, after watching that video, today I'm going to explain my whole indicator template as to what all indicators I put in my template and what it looks like. The explanation of these indicators and how exactly to use them will come along in the month of April and May. Okay? Also, please like, subscribe the channel and share it with as many people as you can. At the end, after the indicator template is done, what I'm going to do is use those indicators to make a view of the upcoming weeks and the long-term aspect, because this indicator template I use only for long-term trading and medium-term trading. I don't use it for short-term trading. Okay? Chalo, let's have a look at what it looks like. स्टार्टिंग में शायद ये थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग लगेगा, राइट? स्टार्टिंग में दिस विल लुक वेरी डिफरेंट एंड वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग. So this is what my indicator template looks like, right? This is what we call a super trend. This is the 50 moving average. This is the 20 moving average, the color in black. The red one is the 9 moving average. This purple is the Bollinger Bands. And this is what I call a stochastic RSI oscillator. Now I'm going to make this template the same way again, so that all of you, whoever are interested, can add it. The explanation of this and how to use about it, I'm going to come and I'm going to explain about it in the upcoming months. Now, first you go to the indicator tab and then you add multiple EMA. So it will come here, multiple EMA. What we want to do is add the 20, 50 and the 9. So the 20 will be in the color black, the 50 will be in the color blue, and it will be a bit thick because that is important. And this, the 9 EMA, I'm going to keep it in the color. I don't know why it's not happening, but it should happen soon. Maybe there's some problem with the internet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the internet and then I'm going to try again. Right? तो ऐसे कभी कभार हो जाता है, इसका कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, स्ट्रेस नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the indicators, multiple EMA here by Melhai Guler. After that, I'm going to do 20 moving average, 50 moving average, and a 9 moving average. Style is going to be black here. This is going to be blue, and this is going to be pinkish red. So this is how it will look like. Now, after this, I'm going to add an indicator called the super trend by Kivank or Billy. Right? We're going to keep the same settings, but I'm going to just remove all of these. You can stop the video, you can have a look at it again, aram se, right? I'm doing it a bit fast. The inputs are going to remain the same, and this is why the red and the green lines appear. After that, I want something called Bollinger Bands. So Bollinger Bands are common. with everybody. The basis we don't need. The upper is going to be purple, the lower is going to be purple, and there is going to be no background fill. Another indicator that now we're going to add is called the stochastic RSI. Here, this one. Then we'll go to the settings here, and here we're going to make a few changes. To the inputs, we're going to make RSI length as 5, and this we're all going to keep it same. I like to make it as black and red, so I'm going to do that. So this is how it's going to look, right? Is this very similar to this? Yes, it has to be. This is the weekly and this is the weekly. Both should look very, very similar. Okay? Now, let's have a look at. So now that this indicator template has been made, I mainly use this template for positional trading in stocks and long-term trading. I don't utilize this for short-term trading. Also medium-term trading, where I can hold the trade for a few weeks. I use it for that. Now, this is clear, right? This is how it looks. The super trend indicator is very helpful as long as you combine it with price action. ये buy and sell का indicator नहीं है कि यहाँ पे buy कर लो, यहाँ पे sell कर लो, नहीं. You know, this indicator is useful only in a very trending market and for exits from a trending market. Now, when I have a look at the Nifty, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the Nifty based on this. If you see the previous bear markets, right? See this bear market and this bear market. Clearly, this super trend indicator stays red throughout. In sideways, it's going to be red, green, and green. But in really bearish times, it is going to help you avoid being very aggressive. Have a look at this. It avoids a lot of pain, right? And just ये red होना मतलब short करना है, ऐसा नहीं है. We have to combine it with Dow theory and the slope of the 50 moving average. This I will explain to you slowly in the upcoming months. And it will take time, but I'm sure that I'll be able to explain all of this in great detail. Now Nifty 50, if I look at it on a monthly chart, doesn't this look really bullish currently? This oscillator has come to the oversold zone, overbought zone, I mean. Price is coming to the 20 moving average, and there has been some kind of body here. That means some kind of thoda to buying hua hai. Is it valid that something like this can happen? Of course, no doubt about it, right? But what are my expectations from the market? Is that once market starts crossing this high, all dips after that would be buying opportunities, right? Once market crosses this pivot high, I would be really bullish, right? And after that, any dips जो यहाँ पे ऐसे dips आएंगे, I would be looking to buy. Maybe a steeper dip can also come after that. That would be also okay. I would still be with a bullish bias for long term. Because then once this amount of buying has come, that means the overall downside of the market is limited. On a daily time frame, the medium term time frame has turned to bullish. For a medium term kind of trade, what I would be looking at is a breakout above this or some kind of pullback that comes in the market, after which we can look to get it. Now currently we should be a little bit defensive because the tariffs and Trump tariffs and everything is about to come. So some type of noise might be there. So it's better to wait for the event to go and then look for a entry kind of in this kind of method. Now overall, last week's video, multi-bagger video, where we said that the Nifty Financial Services looks really good. Can you see now with this indicator template what is happening? The Nifty Financial Services is the first indice to break all-time high. And the super trend has turned green. The 50 moving average has started sloping upward. So if the market falls, whenever it falls, this would be the first indice that I would want to buy. We also said that Nifty Bank looked really great. Yes, but there is still some time. It has formed one of those patterns that we said, double bottom. I've explained this, how bear markets come out and what are the reversals like. How do you come out of bear markets? There is a video on this in the educational section of the playlist. So have a look at it when you get time. Now, this looks like a double bottom. The confirmation will come once this high is gone. Until that time, it can still remain choppy here. यहाँ पे ऊपर नीचे कर सकता है. Nifty is not that strong yet. Nifty needs some more time to actually come out of the bearishness and come out of the woods. For that, what would happen is we would want price to sustain above this high, and then we would be looking for dips or short-term consolidations to go long. Here also, if one wants to take a medium-term trade like we discussed, any type of pullback and then a breakout from the pullback would be a valid entry. Now this template is really good for trending stocks and to catch multi-baggers. What do I mean by that? I'm going to give you an example of Blue Star. Right? Now, this was in the last cycle an all-time high making stock. Now, if you're not understanding what I'm saying, please have a look at the previous week's video. So this was an all-time high stock. Have a look at how beautifully this super trend and the 50 moving average has behaved on the weekly time frame. अगर ये टूट जाता है, okay, no problem. One can look to exit and stay out. But if this continues, one should stay in this trade. This is how multi-baggers are made. I'm going to take an example of Page Industries. This is a very old example because this was the time that it made all-time high before the market did. If you remember, in 2011 and 2012, these 2 years, market was actually down while this company was making all-time high. After that, if one has bought the dips here and look to buy the breakouts, just have a look at how good this super trend has been. And here one can look to exit below the 50 moving average here, which is at 12,700 from the levels of 1,700, right? I know it sounds very easy, but it is not that easy. Slowly, I will explain why it's not very easy to do. And the key is in stock selection. So this week, we've talked about my overall indicator template, how to take an overall market view with it on the charts. We've also discussed a few examples of when you catch the right multi-bagger stocks. For that, you'll have to see the last week's episode, that how one can stay in them for a longer duration, maybe a couple of years also. And if those stocks don't work, you know when to exit, right? With this indicator template. Have a look at this template again and again. It will take time. It will take a few months for me to explain to you in detail how this works. And after that, I have a methodology of mine which I use for stock trading and stock picking, which is a little bit more complex. For that, I will need a couple of days actually to explain in detail as to what needs to be done. Okay, that I'll come out with later. Chalo, bye. See you on Monday.